The Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game has over 10,000 unique cards for players to collect, trade, and construct their own personal decks. But what would happen if players only had access to the bare minimum? In this series, both TheRJB0 and myself will each open a very select amount of sealed product. Once we open that product, we must build a deck using only those specific cards pulled, that's it. And at the end of each episode, we discard the entirety of our pulls to the graveyard and start from scratch with a new product. Every card counts. This is Yu-Gi-Oh! Sealed Showdown. If you want 5% off any singles or sealed product, click the affiliate links in the description and use code Cimoooooooo5. And clicking the TCG Player affiliate link before you shop helps support us to provide you with more amazing content. I still cannot believe the way that last match played out. That was just crazy, and that makes me more excited for the next reprint set, Dark Revelation 1, which I think is only a few sets away from now, but we're taking a step back to GX. Well, technically, it's not in GX yet, but this kind of gets bundled in with GX sets in Rise of Destiny. Another 60-card set, so we may be seeing a lot of commons, but honestly, that's okay. I think it's going to be a little bit better than Soul of the Duelist, though, because we have some more playable cards to work with. So let's flip up the first pack, see what we get. That's what we want to see right out of the gate. Astral Barrier, for those of you who remember from the Soul of the Duelist episode, Absolute End, is a continuous trap version of that card. If your opponent's monster makes a monster or attacks a monster you control, you can make the attack a direct attack instead. Great way to protect our monsters and set up. And when we have a card like Rock from the Valley of Haze, which is just a 2400 tribute, that's playable by Sealed Showdown standard. We can take a hit, we can summon this, and now we have control of the board. There were also cards in the set like Mirage Dragon and Eagle Eye that made it so that your opponent couldn't use trap cards during particular phases, and Mirage Dragon's 1600 attack, so that's pretty playable. And this is just another great pack. Ballista of Rampart Smashing gives a monster 1500 attack if it attacks a face-down defense position monster, which means we can hit over like 2k defenders as long as they're face down, so that's pretty nice. Also, Back to Square One. This is some of the best removal in the set. This is Phoenix Wing Wind Blast, except it's specifically just a spell. That's the only difference. So we're going to be playing this for sure. I'd love to get play sets of this. We'll just have to see if that happens. Also, Homunculus, the Alchemic Being, is pretty nice because it's an 1800 level 4, and that may be the top end for this set. We'll have to see. Another Homunculus, another Astral Barrier, another Ballista, and Nightmare Penguin. First time we're seeing this. This is a great defender coming into 1800 defense. When it's flip face up, target a card your opponent controls, return that target to the hand. This is prime removal in a set like this. 1800 defense as well. Great card. I also should consider a card like Raging Flame Sprite. This card can attack your opponent directly, and if it inflicts battle damage to your opponent by direct attack, it gains 1000 attack. If we combine this with like Astral Barrier and make it so that Robert can't actually hit this thing continues to get larger and larger, and this could be a real problem for him to deal with. Holy shit, that's a pack. Damn, this would have synergized so well with our Soul of the Duelist pulls, but unfortunately, we don't have those anymore. There is a Mystic Swordsman level 6 ultimate rare. That would have been fantastic to get. 2300 on a level 6, that's good, but the problem is Rock actually outclasses this, but it can destroy monsters in defense essentially just before they're able to flip or anything like that. That's kind of neat, but I don't know if that's better than Rock necessarily, and that's kind of unfortunate. We also got Fusilier Dragon, the dual mode beast, which is basically just a 1400 normal summon, but it's 2800, so if we have a way to like revive this, that could be cool, but I'm not sure if there's a way to do so. Another copy of Back to Square One. Happy to see that.
All right, all salt aside, that deck from Alex was pretty sick last week. I am unhappy about the pull ratios that we got, but ultimately, Alex saw something out of his pulls that I didn't see in mine, and he made something deeply degenerate, but ultimately just cool. And I learned from that I wasn't as prepared for burn decks or more complicated cost-benefit analysis in my gameplay than I wanted to be. So we're going to continue to try and bounce back. He's pulling ahead, but we always have the opportunity to turn this around. And so I'm going to be looking out to do that. Our set this week is Rise of Destiny. And I've been checking that out. It's another one of those small sets that we're getting now, and I think I have a pretty good grasp of what the strategy is going to look like. And I'll be talking about that as I pick up my pulls. Let's see if we can get anything really cool to round out the basic commons and rares, and hopefully get all the basic commons and rares out of this. Starting off with our very first pack, Dekoichi is one of the best cards in the set. Draws you a card, and if he survived the last turn, you can use him as tribute fodder, which is pretty sick. Astral Barrier is really cool. It's like absolute end, but you get to choose when to use it. You can pick and choose the attacks that go into your monsters versus the ones that go directly into your life points. That's pretty sick. The Harpy Ladies are also just a really strong strategy this set. They have a bunch of really cool effects. The normal summonable monsters in this set, for the most part, are not very good, but the Harpy Ladies all have pretty good effects. I'm hoping to pick up 3 Harpy Lady 1s as well as 3 Harpies Hunting Ground to make them really powerful. Machine Duplication is a very interesting one. If you manage to make a Dekoichi survive for a turn and machine dupe a Bakoichi, you actually draw 4 cards, which is nutty. I'm not sure that I'm gonna end up using that, especially because that's just such a sacky strat, but it's very funny. And then Pitch Black Warwolf negates trap cards during the battle phase, which is pretty sick. Another Dekoichi, that's great to see. Back to Square One is a really powerful card this set. It stacks a monster on top of your opponent's deck at the cost of 1 card from your hand. That's going to be really great for removal and for getting tempo going. Ballista of Rampart Smashing is actually a potentially really important card because it allows you to get over 2,000 defenders, of which there aren't many, but there are 2 very notable ones. One of those being Woodborg Apache and the other being Fusilier, the dual mode beast. So there's going to be some mind games around this card. This card basically lets your monsters gain a bunch of attack when attacking into defense position monsters. So if you can equip this to pretty much any monster, it's going to get over something like a Woodborg Apache or a Fusilier. Xingzhen Hu is also a really powerful card. I'm not sure how important it's going to be in this set, considering the fact that most of the traps suck, but it is there. And then Homunculus, the Alchemic Being, is the biggest normal summonable monster at a beefy 1800 attack points. Chain Burst would be funny if we were able to play trap cards. Raging Flame Sprite is potentially incredibly powerful with the ability to gain 1,000 attack points every time it deals damage, and it attacks directly. If you can protect this thing for long enough with something like an Astral Barrier, you've got a gigantor monster to work with. Heavy Mech Support Platform, I really want to be good. It gives your machine monsters 500 attack as a union, and protects them from all forms of destruction. Nightmare Penguin is a really solid card. Sends a monster back to your opponent's hand, or back to, I think, either player's hand. Yeah, you can target, oh no, it is 1 card your opponent controls, returns that target to the hand at an 1800 defender point. It's actually basically Snowman Eater for the set, which is pretty cool. Fun combo you can do with this card, by the way. You can use Homunculus to change its own attribute to water, and the Nightmare Penguin gives it 200 attack to make it a 2000 attacker, which is pretty sick. Monster Reincarnation is interesting, but I don't know how good it is. Element Source is the best of the element monsters this set. It's got earth and fire, and if you remember, fire is the best attribute because it gives your monster 500 extra attack. Combine this with Homunculus and you've got a pretty solid monster to work with. Harpy's Hunting Ground is an amazing card to see. I hope I see 2 more of those. Same with Flint. Flint is a really interesting card, and we're just going to open that up right now. The equipped monster loses 300 attack and cannot change its battle position or declare an attack. If this card is destroyed because the equipped monster is destroyed, target 1 monster on the field and equip this card to that target. If your opponent has multiple monsters that you want to be reducing the attack of, you can equip Flint to it, attack into one of those monsters, and then equip Flint to the second monster, and then attack into that. Now, this does create a kind of infinite loop in that even if your opponent doesn't have any monsters, you still have to equip Flint to something, which means you're going to end up equipping it to your own monster, but with something like an Astral Barrier, that might not make the difference, and with the potential to to just absolutely devastate your opponent's attack points, that may be worthwhile anyway. Necklace of Command is kind of funny. It lets you gain, like, either discard a card from your opponent's hand or draw a card when a monster you control is destroyed by battle. I don't expect this to be very good, especially without recruiters in the format, but it's an interesting thought. Also, I got another Harpy's Hunting Ground, which is going to be important. So is Malice Dispersion, because it lets you get rid of Astral Barrier. BES Big Core is a really strong card. Not only is it a Monarch stat line, but it also can't be destroyed by battle 3 times, which is pretty sick. It's a little weaker than some of the other monsters that you can tribute summon, but it may be worthwhile just to start really running over your opponent's monsters. And even if Alex puts on something like I don't know, Rock from the Valley of the Haze on the board, it'll at least survive long enough for me to be able to tribute it off for something bigger. That's a pretty good pickup, and it's ultimate rare. That's pretty cool. Sasuke Samurai number 4 is also kind of funny. You toss a coin before you go to battle with it, and if you toss it right, or if you call it right, you destroy the monster by card effect instead of by battle, which is pretty sick. Not sure how much I like the 50-50 there, though. Love seeing another Nightmare Penguin. Also, Foxfire is a really interesting card. If it was destroyed by battle while it was face up on the field, then it gets to come back during the end phase. So you have to eat a pretty big attack with it in attack position to start it off, but once you've done that, it's just going to keep coming back no matter what. That's going to be a pretty good card for getting larger monsters on the field. 2 Serial Spell, 1 in rare, 1 in ultimate rare. That card's not great this set, especially because it requires you to discard your entire hand for it. You could get like chain back to square ones off of it, but at that point you're losing your whole hand to do it. I don't expect to use this card.
Man, I really hate with these sets when we get stuff like Darkblade the Dragon Knight that we just can't play under any circumstances. That's just so frustrating. Oh, okay, that might have some potential. Perfect Machine King. God, I love this card as a kid. This card was so badass. Gains 500 attack for each other machine type monster on the field. It's 2 tribute, so it's very high investment, and just to get bounced back by a Nightmare Penguin or a back to square one, I don't know if it's worth it to play, honestly. Another Nightmare Penguin, though, Homunculus, Raging Flame Sprite, Mirage Dragon, also Creator Incarnate. If we get Creator, maybe we actually consider it, but, that's asking for a lot. We did get Perfect Machine King, though, and that's pretty cool. Another back to square one, another Ballista, another Rock, another Mirage Dragon, but here is Sasuke Samurai number 4. This card is very high rolly, but it has the potential to actually be pretty good. If it battles a monster, toss a coin and call it right. Before damage calc, if you call it right, destroy the opponent's monster with this effect. So it's removal half of the time, so maybe we'll play it because being able to out stuff that's large, this may be worth it even if it's only a 50-50. There is Jingzhen Hu, probably butchered the pronunciation on this. This card's like sort of spell and trap removal. You target 2 set spell and traps and they can't be activated as long as this stays up. I guess it's better than having no way to deal with back row, but it's not that great. Okay, this is an interesting pack. Another Astral Barrier, Ballista, some okay common cards, but Divine Wrath, that's a super rare and a half. I mean, this card is a counter trap that can negate effects. Comes as a 2-for-1, but it is removal as well, and so this could very easily come up. Also, a Gaia Soul, the Combustible Collective, a 2000 attack normal summon, but it kind of just kills itself during the end phase, so it's okay, but it's not the best.
There's another Flint, and it's super rare, a Divine Wrath. This may be good for hitting a Homunculus when it activates its effect in order to either pair with an Element Source or with a Nightmare Penguin, so that could be pretty good. Other than that, maybe a BES Big Core. I'm not sure if this card is going to be very good, but I'm glad to have it. Back to square one. I think that's my 3rd one. I hope it's my 3rd one, or that I at least get 3 this time round. Other than that, not a lot to talk about here. Most of the monster spells and traps in this set suck. Let's see, a Rare Metal Morph. Ooh, and another BES Big Core at the ultimate rare slot. Rare Metal Morph plus BES Big Core actually gives me a sizable machine monster pool. This is fascinating. I'm not sure what to do with this information, but This can't be bad, can it? Just about halfway through, we've got another Necklace of Command and another Nightmare Penguin. I hope I stop getting Necklace of Commands. I think I have at least 3 of them now. And I do know that I have 3 Malice Dispersion, which is really important once again for getting rid of Astral Barrier. However, I only have 1 Astral Barrier. Hope to change that sometime soon. Another rare Metal Morph could be really good, especially with the big cores that I've been getting. Harpy's Hunting Ground, I know that's at least my 3rd now. I've been getting a lot of the Creator Incarnate. I am hoping that I get the Creator because that might make this card actually worth playing. Another Flint is not excellent, and Heavy Mech Support Platform. One thing I'm really noticing that I'm missing out on is Harpy Lady 1. Hopefully I get another one of those, or, you know, any of them. There's another Astral Barrier. Really glad to see that. Another Harpy Lady 3. I don't know if I've been keeping track of this properly, but I've been getting a lot of Harpy Lady 3. Also, interestingly, another Monster Reincarnation, which is a super rare. I think I've been getting a lot of Ultimate Rares this set. Now that I've been looking back at it, I have not been paying attention to the rarity, I'll be honest with you. More Foxfire and more Homunculus also can't be bad. Another BES Big Core. I now have 3 of this card. I don't know what to do with that information, but again, I don't expect that that is bad. Another thing I'm notably missing is Fusilier the Dual Mode Beast. I'm hoping to pick up a couple of those before the pack opening's over. Covering Fire, if I remember correctly, is an interesting card. Let's take a look at it. During the damage step, target one other face-up monster you control. Your attacked monster gains attack equal to that target's attack during the damage step only. Very good. I hope I get more of those too. I am decreasing the number on my Harpy Ladies. Now I have Harpy Lady 2 instead of Harpy Lady 3. Let's keep up that trend, I guess.
There's actually our first Harpy's Hunting Ground. There are some Harpy synergies in this set, as you've probably seen throughout, as we've gotten a few of those. And this card's cool because it is spell and trap removal. There's no shortage of that in this set, but this card actually is a mandatory effect, so if you don't have anything else, you have to pop itself, which kind of sucks. Triangle Ecstasy Spark is neat, but again, I don't know if it's very good. And Covering Fire is an okay little battle trick. If you have 2 monsters, you can actually make one of them gain the attack of the other, I believe, and so that's like okay, that could come up. Actually, I lied. Looking at Triangle Ecstasy Spark, this card sucks because it only works on Harpy Lady's sister specifically, and that card's from Metal Raiders. Okay, well, a second Divine Wrath isn't bad. Again, it really just depends on if Robert plays monsters with effects, I guess, because, you know, a lot of the time in Sealed Showdown, we're kind of just beating each other's faces in with large monsters, and so we'll have to see. It could be relevant. Oh, okay. There's the Creator. So we do have copies of Creator Incarnate, and I think if we were going to pick between this and Perfect Machine King, this is probably the better card. It can't be special summoned from the grave, which is kind of irrelevant for our series. Once per turn, target a monster in your graveyard, send a card from your hand to grave, and if you do, special summon that target. So this is a way that we can actually get value. The Creator Incarnate actually helps us special summon this directly to the field. This is a bomb and a half, and I think we will play this. I think it's worth it. Also, another Sasuke Samurai number 4 is very funny. Okay, it's not that funny after we get it for the 3rd time. There's so many better rares we could be getting, like Dekoichi, and we haven't seen that at all yet, but I guess it's 3 cards that can maybe remove something off the field, I guess. So we pulled a Monster Reincarnation. A lot of people may know this from Lightsworn or any deck that is really a combo deck, if we're being honest. Discard a card, bring a monster back from grave to hand. This could be okay. It comes at a 2-for-1 though, so we'd have to be getting something really strong, like maybe the Creator. I guess in that case, it could be worth it, but there's another Creator Incarnate to go with it. If we didn't already have a playset, we do now for sure. There he is, finally, the man himself, Dekoichi, the Battle-Chanted Locomotive. Flip him up, draw a card, 1400, everything you could want in a Yu-Gi-Oh card. We also have Bakoichi in this set, but I don't think we're gonna play it unless we like specifically pull Machine Duplication, which is a line, but I don't think it's very good. Another super rare, Pikachu's Circle of Enchantment. It says damage to you from card effects becomes 0 until the end of this turn. I don't know if there's a lot of burn in this set. Maybe this will go in the side deck because I can't think of any reason we'd want to play this. Oh shit, wait a minute. Now the gears are turning. I just realized with this Fusilier Dragon, I forget if I have 1 or 2 of this, but in any case, if I get the Creator on the field, I could resurrect Fusilier Dragon and it comes back at 2800. Holy shit, that's a blowout.
I'm coming up on 7 packs left. Things I'm hoping to get 2 more Fusilier, or 2 in the first place, Fusilier the Dual Mode Beast, some Harpy Lady 1s, another Astral Barrier, and some more of that Covering Fire card. Another Divine Wrath, sure, and a Covering Fire. So, asking you shall receive on that front. Another Ballista of Rampart Smashing. I'm pretty sure that is the last one that I need, and another Element Source. I haven't been keeping track of how many of that I have. What is with my Hollow Luck? So many Necklaces of Command. Oh, I really don't need that card. I did get another Astral Barrier. I have 6 more packs. Once again, 2 Facilier would be great, and 1 more Covering Fire would be good. I got another Harpy Lady 3, and still no Harpy Lady 1s. A Gaia Soul, the Combustible Collective? Is that what that's called? Really interesting card. It's a 2000 attacker, and once per turn you can tribute up to 2 Pyro-type monsters, and it gains 1000 attack for each of them. It deals piercing damage, which is pretty sick, and during the end phase it dies. If you can equip this with a Ballista of Rampart Smashing over an opponent's defense position like Dekoichi, you basically win the game. So I may be playing this card just for the potential to pull that off. A Chain Burst, not the best of rares, and more Harpy Lady 3. I still don't think I've seen a single Harpy Lady 1 this set. Another Serial Spell. Oh, my Hollow Luck is great, but my common and rare luck is awful. I have seen 3 Raging Flame Sprite now, I think, which is good, and 3 Foxfire. Good on Harpy's Hunting Ground. I just don't have the one good Harpy in the set. Another Gaia Soul is actually pretty cool. That may be relevant. Another Harpy Lady 3. Why must the universe punish me so? 2 packs to go. Let's see at least 1 Facilier and maybe a couple of Harpy Lady 1s. There's a Facilier. That is very important. I am glad to see this card. Not only is it heavily supported by Heavy Mech Support Platform and Rare Metalmorph, but also it is a normal settable 2000 defender that turns itself into a 2800 attacker. If I can get Alex to whiff something like Ballista of Rampart Smashing, then I can get some real work done with this card. I wish I saw more of it, but I'm going to work with what I have here. All right, last pack. Can I get either, I think I've only seen 2 Dekoichi now that I thought about it. Can I get either 1 more Dekoichi or 1 more Facilier? Perfect Machine King. What? And another Harpy Lady 2 and another Harpy Lady 3 because, you know, I'm not allowed to have nice things. What is with this? This card is huge. It gains 500 attack for each other machine type monster on the field. If I can stick like a Facilier underneath this thing, that would be awesome. This card is so cool looking. And it's for each other machine type monster on the field, which means that if I'm going into one of Alex's Faciliers, then I am already going to be on the advantage with this card. Now, it does require 2 tributes, but I'm going to be thinking about running this guy. Overall, my luck so far in these packs, or overall in these packs, has been interesting. I've got a ridiculous number of hollows, and my rares and commons have been lacking. I think I only got 2 Dekoichi. I also didn't get a single Harpy Lady 1, which is weird, but I think overall I can be pretty happy about what I got.
All right, you guys, so only a couple of packs left. Pretty good opening, I would say. I feel like we've gotten playsets of most of the cards we wanted, aside from Dekoichi, which really sucks. Dekoichi's such a good card, and Robert probably got a playset of it. So let's flip up the last 2, see what we get. Nothing spectacular. I guess another Hunting Ground's good, because I'm not sure if we had a playset up until now, but it is what it is. Let's go into our final pack. If I could just get 1 more Dekoichi, I'd be happy. I don't know what else I'm really looking for at this point. And it's another Gaia Soul, the Combustible Collective. Well, it is what it is. I think we got some pretty above average pulls, so I'm not really going to complain too much. I'm excited. This is going to be a fun episode.
Well, this one's going to be a little bit of a rush job. Alex and I are actually filming a little bit earlier than we normally do, which means I only had a day of slacking off at work and thinking about my deck before I had to actually build it. And it also turns out, as I was doing some of my deck building, many of these cards didn't actually work the same way I thought they did. For example, did you know that Foxfire can't be used for a tribute summon? I swear Konami intentionally makes these cards bad just to irritate me. Another example is if Fusilier, the dual mode beast, also loses its attack and defense if it's set face down. I just needed to read like half a sentence longer. But no matter, come up with something that I think is at least going to be pretty fun. I got a lot of interesting, fun cards cards that I think have cool interactions, and while maybe they're not optimal, I think they're going to be worthwhile. So let's get into this deck and see what we got going for us today. So starting off, of course, we have Fusilier, the dual mode beast. This card is still pretty good, and the reason why it's pretty good is because I'm running it with a fairly large core of machines. I've also got 3 BES big core, which is probably a bad card, but also has machine synergy, and 2 Dekoichi, the battle chanted locomotive. I really wish I got 3 of this, but I did. The reason why these have interesting synergy is because of Rare Metal Morph. Rare Metal Morph gives your machine monster 500 extra attack and prevents it from being targeted by a single spell. That means that if I have a BES big core equipped with this card, it not only has 2800 attack points, but also is immune from a copy of Back to Square One, which I think is pretty sick. Both Dekoichi and a normal summoned Fusilier have 1900 attack points under Rare Metal Morph and have the same immunity. I think that's pretty cool. And so I wanted to try running these, especially because I got 3 copy of the same super rare. So I feel like I just had to try it. Next, we have basically the rest of the deck. We've got 2 Foxfire. Even if it can't be used for a tribute summon, it has cool synergy with Elementsaurus. If Foxfire is sent to the graveyard by battle, and it was face up when the battle began, then it comes back in defense at the end of the turn. That seems pretty good in combination with Elementsaurus, because Elementsaurus gains 500 attack when in the presence of a fire monster. Additional fire monsters include Gaiasoul the Combustible Collective, which is a 2000 beater and is essentially a removal spell for any normal summonable monster, alongside the fact that it gains piercing when attacking a defense position monster, and has the potential to go up to 3000 attack if I just happen to control 2 Foxfires, which is kind of cool. Next, we have the 3 Elementsaurus to gain the synergy with Foxfire, but also to gain synergy with Homunculus the Alchemic Being, which is honestly the coolest card in this format. It can change its attribute once per turn, which means you can modulate it to become fire to have synergy with Elementsaurus, or you can change it to water to gain 200 attack off of Nightmare Penguin. Nightmare Penguin is also a super sick card because it's got an 1800 booty, bounces a card from your opponent's side of the field back their hand, which is going to be a great piece of tempo for big monsters that have to be tribute summoned, and it's just generally a good card. Glad I got 3 of it. And finally, a copy of the Creator Incarnate. It'll be really funny if Alex thinks I'm going to pull something with this, but honestly, it's got 1600 attack, which clears the element monsters, and that's pretty much its entire purpose. We've got 3 Back to Square One, an amazing spell card when it comes to removal, and 3 Flint. This card is going to just create a horrendous game state because it is very useful for locking up your opponent's big monsters, and also comes with a little bit of a risk in that it keeps recurring itself back onto the field every time it's destroyed, which means that you're going to end up equipping it to your own monsters frequently. It's a fairly good comeback mechanic though, and the ability to tribute off your monster after it's been flinted seems like it's going to make this combo worthwhile. So I'm running 3 of it. We'll see how that goes. I've also got 2 Malice Dispersion to get rid of exactly 3 Astral Barrier, which is basically absolute end in a continuous trap guard, and you get to choose which attacks go through and which ones hit your life points. Next, we have 2 Covering Fire, which is basically Taunt, but slightly better. We've got 2 Divine Wrath, which is another super rare I got multiples of. This card's going to be pretty cool, especially in combination with a BES big core and a Rare Metal Morph. You basically have a monster that is immune to everything once, which is kind of sick. Of course, 3 Metal Morph and 2 Zing Zang Hu to lock down Alex's back row. There's a very big possibility that these ratios are really, really bad, and so I ran my side deck basically to adjust those ratios, bringing in 1 more Malice Dispersion, 1 more Zing Zang Hu, 2 of the Creator Incarnate in case any of these cards turn out to not be as good in practice as they seem in theory. This card's just a bungus. Sasuke Samurai number 4, I only got 1 copy of it, but it can prevent flip effects from activating, which is kind of sick. There's also Perfect Machine King, which I really just have here to meme on Alex in case I get the opportunity. And lastly, I have a preparation for a very strong strategy that I did not get what I needed for, which is Harpies. Harpy Lady 1 is an extremely powerful card that I did not pull a single copy of. I need to be ready to play around it, so I have built the rest of my side deck to be prepared in case Alex runs it. I've got 3 Harpies Hunting Ground of my own to knock out Alex's so that I can run over a single Harpy Lady 1 with something like a Elementsaurus, Homunculus, things like that. 2 Harpy Lady 2, it's the best Harpy Lady that I've got, and 1 Harpy Lady 3, and then 3 Rock from the Valley of Haze. There's a possibility that this combo right here just is as jank as it seems like. And this card is not only slightly larger than BES Big Core natively, but also gets a benefit from Harpy's Hunting Ground. That's pretty much the deck. I'm kind of excited to play around with this. The 3 BES Big Core is going to be really funny to drop on Alex, and I hope I don't just get totally blown out this time around. I'm just looking forward to this duel. I think it's going to be a good old time and an absolute mess.
All right, you guys. So this is the deck we are bringing to today's duel. God, this brings back so many memories of the old days. So this is going to be interesting. I think there's a lot of cool tricks that both of us could have up our sleeves here. So let's go ahead and do the card by card. First up, we have one lone copy of Dekoichi. I really wish I had more of this because there's other reasons aside from the card draw I wanted this, but unfortunately, we only got the one. We are playing the 2 Fusilier Dragon now. The reason for this is because at the very least, it's a monster we can summon, but if we can bring this back with the Creator, it becomes 2800 attack, which can basically hit over almost everything else in the game. So I think that's worth it. Like I said, again, it's just a body, and there's also some other synergy here as well. I am playing the 2 Gaia Soul, the Combustible Collective. The reason being is because this thing does have piercing, and that could actually close out a game, but more importantly, I think Nightmare Penguin's going to be a disaster in this format, and this card just by itself can take care of a Nightmare Penguin. And what's funny is that if it's set, it'll actually get bounced back to hand, so actually we get to keep the Collective, and I think that's pretty nice. Do some damage in the process. I think just overall there is a slot for this card. 3 copies of Homunculus, just an 1800 beater, and 3 copies of Nightmare Penguin. Funny synergy, if we make Homunculus a water attribute, it'll actually buff the Homunculus to 2000 attack, so that's actually kind of relevant and a nice little synergy because Nightmare Penguin most of the time is not going to be going anywhere. We are playing the Perfect Machine King for the same reason for Creator, because if we're able to get this back, this card is just a menace, and I think it's worth playing this because it's a big beater, and plus we could just pitch it for something like Back to Square One if we just don't want it. I think it's worth playing, and if not, we can just side it out in games 2 and 3. We've got 3 Pitch Black Warwolf. This card could actually come up. There are some battle tricks in the set, and so I wanted to have at least some amount of this or Mirage Dragon in my main deck. I just like Pitch Black Warwolf better, if I'm being honest. 2 copy of Rock from the Valley of Haze. This is our 1 tribute monster of choice. I mean, anything converting into rock, this is going to basically be one of the biggest threats that we have to deal with in this format, and so by itself, it's a pretty standalone card. Plus, again, we can get it back with Creator, so that's pretty awesome. 3 copies of Sasuke Samurai number 4. This can actually out a lot of the problem cards in the format, so it is technically removal. Can actually deal with Nightmare Penguin reasonably well, and so that's why I wanted to max out on it. And then we're playing the big boy himself and 3 copies of the Creator Incarnate. This is so sick because as long as we get to both of these, we can summon one, use the effect, tribute it, special summon Creator, and we're basically off to the races. So this is probably like an FTK. For the spells, there's not many. 3 copies of Back to Square One, probably the best removal we have access to in our deck. Just it's a 2-for-1, but at the same time, if it gets rid of a large threat and blanks a draw, that's pretty nice. We also have a Monster Reincarnation. The theory with this is if we lose Creator and we get another copy of Incarnate, we can reincarnate to get Creator back, summon Creator Incarnate, and just do it all over again. And again, if we are able to do this twice, we should have the game on lock, because if Robert clears this once, I could see it. Clearing it twice, good fucking luck. I also like the Creator too, because it actually has anti-synergy with Back to Square One, because if he puts us back on top of our deck and we have another Creator Incarnate, we can just bring it back. So it's actually almost better if this card goes to the graveyard, but the removal in this set doesn't exactly lend itself that way. Then for the trap cards, we've got a lot of them. 3 Astral Barrier. This is our main protection trap card that we're going to want to have access to. There's a lot of good things about this card, and basically this is going to allow us to establish tribute monsters very easily. 3 copies of Covering Fire. I'm iffy on this. With cards like Pitch Black Warwolf and Mirage Dragon, this card isn't that good, and I feel like you have to be very far ahead for this card to be useful. However, if we have like a Nightmare Penguin in defense and another monster and Robert's trying to hit in, we could Covering Fire, give the attack of the Nightmare Penguin to something else, and maybe that's enough for it to withstand the battle. I'm not sure, but there's not a lot of better options, so we're going to try it out and see. 2 copies of Divine Wrath. I think Nightmare Penguin's going to be a nightmare to deal with in this format, and so Divine Wrath can actually kill this just straight up when it uses its effect, and for things like the Creator and the like, I think it's worth having this card in here, even if it is a 2-for-1. 2 copies of Rare Metalmorph. This is one of the reasons I really wanted Dekoichi. It gives a machine monster 500 attack, and also negate the first spell effect that targets that monster. So if Robert was trying to take out a Fusilier or a Dekoichi with a Back to Square One, Rare Metalmorph makes it so that that won't even work. And plus, if we get Fusilier plus Rare Metalmorph when this was resurrected off of Creator, this will be 3,300 attack, which is just insane. Again, I'm not sure if it's worth it, but we'll have to see. And 2 copies of Jing Zhen Hu to be able to stop Robert from using his back row. There isn't a ton, so I figured only 2 of this is fine. Being able to ice stuff like Astral Barrier on end phase or Divine Wrath or maybe Covering Fire, I figured there's a slot for this card. For the side deck, 3 copies of Mirage Dragon if I feel that the Pitch Black Warwolves are overperforming. We can put more of these in. We have the Mystic Swordsman level 6, but quite honestly, every other tribute monster in here is just better than this because it has 100 more attack, and so that's unfortunate, but I figure we have him in here anyway. I do have the Raging Flame Sprites. I really don't hate this synergy with this and Astral Barrier where you can just constantly hit your opponent directly. It just becomes a race, and you know, at the same time, it can be a problem because if they get more monsters on the field, it probably won't work, but again, I didn't know what else to throw in here. I've got some Ballistas in here, so this way I can hit through defense position monsters. Nightmare Penguin's the biggest one, and the problem is if you equip something with Ballista to kill a set Nightmare Penguin, he's just gonna bounce the card back to your hand and you lose the Ballista. So you clear the Penguin, but you lose a ton of tempo and you lost a card in the process. Doesn't seem like a great exchange, so I'm not sold on this, but I have it in here just in case. 3, Malice Dispersion. This is actually a way to clear face-up continuous traps. We can take out Jing-Jang-Hu, we can take out Astral Barrier, although I don't know why we would. If we're attacking directly, we might just win the game anyway. Kind of depends if we're fighting for tempo at that point, but I figure this card's pretty good. We have a Chain Burst, which will make the game go a little bit quicker if each trap card costs 1,000 life points to activate. And then we also have another Jing-Jang-Hu in case these 2 copies aren't enough and we need more if Robert's on a ton of back row. Guys, this is going to be exciting. I hope Robert pulled some cards as crazy as I did. Actually, not really, because I like to keep winning, but we'll have to see. It's going to be an interesting one for sure. So ladies and gentlemen, it's time to duel. Robert, I don't know how you're feeling about this set. One of our fun 60 card sets that we're going to become very accustomed to here in the next several episodes. I think my pulls were okay, and I feel like compared to the Soul of the Duelist episode, there's going to be a bit more interplay, and it's not just going to be Armed Dragon level 5 fest. I don't know how you feel, but what are you thinking?
Yeah, I feel like the gameplay is not going to be immediately decided by one trap card the way it was in Soul of the Duelist.
What do you mean, buddy? We have the same trap card in the set, but it's continuous this time.
That's true, but at least you can't summon Armed Dragon level 5 off of it.
Fair.
After the absurdity that was Dark Beginning, this is just kind of a low-pressure set. I got some interesting pulls, and I built a deck that I think is kind of cute, so I'm looking forward to seeing just how janky it turns out to be, but you're going to think it's real funny if you get to see what makes this deck what it is.
Buddy, if you're not playing Machine Duplication Bokoichi and Flip to Koichi for 4, then you're not playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, let's go ahead and shout the patron. It is Melinda Phantom. Thank you for the support, and let's see what you got, buddy. Damn it.
Heyo, all right. And I am going to go first.
Shocker. I never would have guessed. I see you decided to... Oh, no. I thought this was actually our... oh, I do have my extra deck. You have your extra deck, too. I just don't see any numbers. So good for you. You actually decided to incorporate one this time.
Yep. I ran 3 of the king himself.
Exactly. How many Dark Blade the Dragon Knights do you have?
I think I got like 20 Moki Moki King and like 0 Dark Blade the Dragon
Oh, good.
Knight.
I have a playset of Dark Blade the Dragon Knight, so that might be indicative of how my polls went. Anyway, good luck, buddy. Let's see what you got.
Good luck to you, too. Let's see what I'm going to start with.
I think going first is a very powerful, has a very powerful advantage in this set, and I'll talk about why later, unless you already know.
I feel similarly. I am going to start off with a funny little move. I am going to normal summon Foxfire.
Wow. Okay.
I'm going to set 2 back row, and it is your go.
Why are you on this? Now I'm fascinated. I'll draw. You got anything in standby for me?
I do not have anything in the standby.
Okay. Main 1 then. I suppose I will run out Homunculus, the Alchemic Being.
Ooh, you've got the boy himself. Yep, that's pretty good.
Let's see what you got here. Let's see.
I will take it.
Okay, so 1,500.
1,500.
Yep. And then in the second main, I think I'm just going to set 1 card, and I'm going to go to the end phase. It's come back during, yes, it's the end phase. So
during the end phase, I'm going to summon it in defense.
Yep, this card's kind of neat. But again, I don't know what you're doing with it, which has me a little bit concerned. But go ahead. I know 1 synergy, and I don't know if you'd be that deep on it. So we'll see. We'll see.
There are a couple of cute synergies with this card. Let's see. Oh, that is a cute synergy with this card. Okay. I am going to start off by normal summoning a homunculus of my own.
Sure, that's fine.
And I am going to equip your homunculus with flint.
Got the flint. Okay, sure.
Yep. And I'm going to go to battle phase, and I'm going to attack into your homunculus.
That's fine. So I will take 300, and now your flint's going to trigger here. You have to re-equip it to something, but I think I know a pretty good candidate
I will
here.
re-equip it to my Foxfire.
I remember, I don't know if you ever, or when your first sneak peek was for the game, but Rise of Destiny was mine. And I remember flint was like the downfall of like everyone who played in this sneak peek, because this card is so good.
It's really good, and it's also just an absolute mess of a card.
Oh, absolutely.
I am going to then set another back row, and I am going to end my turn.
Okay. During the end phase, I'm going to fire off a Jing Zhen Hu.
I had the feeling that was going to show up to party. Yeah.
So I'm going to go after the card you just set, and I'm also, I guess I'm going to roll for the other one here. So we will go after this one here. So those two are going to be locked.
Fair enough.
And I'll move the Jing Zhen Hu over here just so we know that.
Okay.
I mean, we're not playing with columns that matter at this point, so we'll see what happens. All right, I'll go ahead and draw. Jesus Christ, that's not good. Main one. Let's see what we can do here. I will go ahead and you've got one card in hand. You've got the Foxfire on 0 attack exactly, which is very funny.
Yep.
I think I will go ahead and set one more card of my own, and I will throw it over to you.
I'm going to drop a turn, Alex. Okay. There's really no harm in my just like going in here. So I am going to normal summon myself the Creator Incarnate.
Not a bad one. Not a bad one. The question is, did you get the Creator? I think you would maybe play this card even if you didn't, because 1600 is kind of like the general stat line of the set. But
you'll see, Alex. You'll see what I have cooking up for you. I'm going to go into the battle phase. I'm going to swing in with my Creator Incarnate.
I'll take 16, and then I will take 18.
Yep. And it is your go, buddy.
All right. We will draw. Let's head on into main one here. It's not great. I think I'm going to run out a pitch black werewolf.
Okay.
And then we'll go to battle.
I'm trying to decide if this is worth running out. Now, what are you going to do with the battle phase with Pitch Black Werewolf? It doesn't have any equip cards available to it. You already went to battle phase. You might run over Foxfire, and then I'd have to re-equip Flint. You could run into the Creator Incarnate. Yeah, when you pass priority for main phase 1, I'm going to activate Astral Barrier.
Had the Astral Barrier. Sounds good. So then I will attempt to declare an attack on Creator Incarnate.
So I have to make a decision here, which is, you didn't seem to be planning for a astral barrier of your own. Chances that you get a monster that can run into homunculus don't concern me that much. This is a really weird position that I'm suddenly in, because I can make sure that your pitch black werewolf dies right here. In which case you won't have the opportunity to do something like a tribute summon, which is pretty important in this set. Or I can make sure that I keep more monsters on the field.
Have to make you think, buddy. Have to make you think.
I'll let the attack go. I'll let a Creator Incarnate go.
All right. They both go down. Second main, I will set one and throw it over to you.
Okay, I'm going to draw for turn. Interesting. That's a fascinating card. I'm going to go into battle phase, and I'm going to swing in with Homunculus.
I'll take the 18.
Sounds good. I am going to actually just leave it there.
All right, we'll draw. Go to main one. This is an interesting way to deal with the current board. So I think we're probably going to give it a shot. I'm going to run out Sasuke Samurai number 4.
Okay, let's see if I'm going to...
I mean, you're not doing anything. Your back row's locked, so...
That's, you've got a fair point there.
So I'm just going to go to battle. I'm going to declare an attack on the... I mean, do I want to attack Foxfire? I don't even know. If I attack it and you let it go, the Flint just re-equips to my guy. If you let it go, then you just take 1200. But, like, Foxfire is just going to bring itself back to the field. I could also just, like, straight up attempt to attack Homunculus, which is pretty funny. But then there's a 50-50 there that actually doesn't even go through. So, you know what? If you want to equip the Foxfire with... Well, actually, let me think. What does that do on math? You know what, actually? I am not going to do that. I'm actually just going to go to second main and just pass the turn. The reason being is if I attack and you equip Flint, if my 50-50 doesn't go through, I take 900, which puts me at exactly 1600, which like any beater in this set can kill me. So I'm not going to do that.
That's a pretty heads-up move. Okay. Ooh, that's an interesting question. Is it time to run this card out?
Ooh, okay. He's got something big to show off.
Okay, I'm going to go to main fate. What are our options here? Has the potential to destroy by card effect, which is not deeply excellent for me. I think
Seems we're at a bit of an impasse here, buddy.
we are at a little bit of an impasse. Not a big one, but it's there.
A brief one.
A brief impasse. God, this is an awkward game, Alex.
This is more exciting than the Armed Dragon level 5 fuckfest that we found ourselves
That's
in.
true. This game was not over on turn 1. I'll give that to you. I'm going to end my turn here.
All right, sounds good. I'll go ahead and draw. Go to main 1. I'm so tempted to swing into your homunculus. You have no idea, but it's so bad. It's so bad if it goes. The one reason I'm tempted to hit Sasuke into your Foxfire is that if I get the effect to trigger, your Foxfire actually doesn't come back. Even though Flint would equip to him, it's still pretty good that you don't get that stupid card back. Not that it's really doing anything. It's basically just the Flint vessel at this point.
Yep.
Is it worth the risk is the question. I'm going to have to deal with that eventually. Do I want to try? You know, I'm kind of feeling it, actually. Let's, okay, here's something we need to figure out. Would you decide on Astral Barrier prior to Sasuke's effect going through? Because it says if your opponent's monster attacks, so that's like on attack declaration. So I think you have to decide whether or not to let the attack go first before Sasuke triggers, because he is at before damage calc. Oh god, it wouldn't be a sealed showdown without some bullshit like this.
Okay, it says before damage calc, so Astral Barrier has to activate in the battle step. So it will always activate before Sasuke.
Right. So okay, so I'm gonna hit. I will let you decide if you want to let this go or not.
How important is Foxfire as a vessel for Flint? I do kind of like the idea of just like slapping Flint onto Sasuke Samurai no matter what you do.
No matter what that's happening. It really just depends on whether or not the Foxfire comes back. That's the question.
Yeah, I get Foxfire's existence. I can't tribute summon off of it.
You get his friendship, his companionship.
On the other hand, I do still have 6,500 life points to my name.
You do. I mean, if you want to let it go, you could.
This is so weird.
You're taking a long time to decide the fate of this fox's life, Robert.
It's very difficult for me to calculate the value of this card for me right now. I'll Astral Barrier it.
Okay, sure. Take the 12. I think that may have been the best case scenario for me. I'm not complaining. Second main, I'm going to run out a creator incarnate of my own.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
And I'm going to set 2 cards face down and throw it to you.
2 back row. That's wild. Almost changes things. Almost. I'm going to go into battle phase, and I am going to swing in to homunculus, or the incarnate with homunculus.
Sure. Damage step.
Sure.
I will activate Covering Fire.
Oh, I 100% forgot that this card exists.
Yeah, this card's pretty good. So I will target another face-up monster I have, which is Sasuke Samurai number 4, and he will gain the attack of the Sasuke, giving him 2,800 attack for this damage step.
Yep, and I take a grand.
You do.
I need to just, like, stop forgetting cards exist.
There's a lot of cards in the game, to be fair. And I think that's the fun of Sealed Showdown, is that we don't know all of them, so sometimes we walk straight into them.
Yeah. Damn. That was
Now you're probably regretting taking that Foxfire.
And that's not the problem. I just legitimately, like, stared at the board, and I was, like, looked through all the trap cards I saw when looking through the set list, and just decided that Covering Fire didn't exist. So that's, that's
good. That means you may not have pulled
any,
so I'll be happy to know that.
God damn. Oh, that was so stupid of me.
It's funny, too, because I thought this card is actually just not that good, and it may have just won me the game, so.
I'm pretty sure I won you the game because of that card, but yeah, it's your go.
Wow, nothing else for the follow-up.
Nope.
Okay. Main one, then. I guess we just get crazy here because there's no board wipe in this set as far as I'm aware. So we're going to run out another creator incarnate.
There he is. Yep.
Go to battle. Would you like to take this attack directly, sir? Fun fact, if you take all these attacks directly, you lose the game.
I think I have to take the 50-50 here. So go for your flip.
All right. Heads always shreds, baby. Come on. Let's go for it. Oh, yes,
yep.
man.
Okay.
What is with my luck in this series? So
And
good.
I am going to equip Flint to this guy right here, your original creator incarnate.
My original creator incarnate is now flinted. He can't attack, which sucks. So you'll take 16 from this one.
I will take 1600.
And second main, I will throw down another face down. Go ahead.
Okay, I will draw for turn. That card's not nothing. It's not especially good, but it's not nothing. So what are the possibilities here? Nothing probably terribly useful. Do I just go for that now? Oh, this is a hilarious possibility. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably dead either way, but it's war.
That's a great way to start off a sentence.
But chances that I draw into what I need to draw into are kind of okay. I might as well go for it. I am going to set a monster, and I am going to set a back row, and I am going to end my turn.
Okay. Well, I guess in the end phase, I don't really know if there's a reason to do this. I'm going to fire another Zingzhen.
Fair enough.
So I'm going to go ahead and target the one you just set, and I'm also going to target one of your other two that you already have there. I'll just target this one, I guess. I have a
Fair
hatred for this one being the one that you set on turn one. So
okay.
I'll deal with it. I just don't want you having any back row, honestly. I'll draw. Main one. God, Flint is such an annoying card. What are we going to do? I'll go to battle. Let's go ahead and jam with Sasuke Samurai number 4.
Okay.
Nightmare Penguin?
Let's see.
You could astral barrier this, I guess.
I could. Oh, God. I hate things that involve, like...
Thinking? Same.
Yeah, that too, apparently. Things that involve random chance.
Especially when you're playing against me.
Yes, indeed. I think I'm going to take the 50-50.
Okay, so flip them up.
The card is Dekawichi.
Okay. So I don't think this changed. I mean, it's still going to die anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, I would have gotten it anyway. Cool. So
okay, so it still gets its flip effect because it was flipped face up.
let me double check that
I
actually.
think.
So after looking it up, according to the rulings for this card, and
The
this
nonsense rulings
this
for
is
this card.
such like a trivial, like minute thing, but it matters. Sasuke Samurai number 4 makes it so that it kills the monster before it even gets the chance to flip up. Actually, so no flip effects trigger. I did not know
Despite
that.
the fact that flip monsters are flipped face up at the beginning of the damage step.
You know, if you want to fight with the rulings, be my guest, buddy. Be
Upper
my
deck entertainment. What are we gonna do about him? There goes my Dekawichi.
We'll hit for 16.
I'll take my 6.
Second main, I'll just set one and pass. You're good to go.
Okay, I'll draw. Well, that's not entirely nothing. I will normal summon a homunculus.
Sure.
Your go.
Okay. We will draw. Oh, that's very funny. I'm going to flip Nightmare Penguin, bounce him back to hand.
And it is all you, boo.
Yep, that's it. Wow, that was a hell of a game one. Holy shit.
Oh, I thought I was done with doing that, Alex, but apparently I sometimes just choose not to make decisions. So I'm going to go first again, and hopefully I remember that cards exist in the game this time round.
Yeah, I mean, Covering Fire is a bit of a weird card. Like I said, I think it's pretty undervalued anyway. Like, maybe in sealed like this, it's actually pretty good, but overall, it's kind of whatever card. But we'll see what you got, buddy. Good luck.
Well, I'm going to start off with a very similar beginning to the game that I had last time. I'm going to normal summon a homunculus, and I am going to set 2 back row, and it is your go.
Sir, that is not a Foxfire, so I don't know what you're talking about, but I will go to main phase 1, and boy, do I have some decisions to make here. What are we? Okay,
Yep.
I'm going to set,
Okay.
and I'm going to pass the turn.
Okay, I am going to draw for turn. I am going to activate Homunculus's effect, changing its attribute to fire. And I am
Okay.
going to normal summon Element Source.
Hell yeah!
Yeah.
I just love that this card has synergies like this with the arc with the rest of the set. It's so cool.
I'm gonna give him a thing to note that things have happened. Okay, I'm gonna go into the battle phase and I'm gonna swing into your face down with my Element Source.
If only the defense of this actually was as it says, but unfortunately it's a Fusilier Dragon.
Ooh, okay, yep. That's. I briefly, while I was doing my pack opening, thought that didn't happen if it was set face down, and I was like, wow, why did nobody run this in GOAT format? Now I know.
Yeah.
I mean,
they ran it in bad decks.
They
so-
did. That's true. And our decks are both bad, so
That's
you
true.
know,
So it's fitting. It's very
it
fitting.
is very fitting. Your go.
All right, we'll draw. Go standby main.
Okay.
Robert, I hope you're ready.
I'm very ready.
I am going to normal summon the Creator Incarnate.
Oh, fuck. Oh, is it happening? Oh,
I
no.
will sacrifice the Creator Incarnate
Okay.
to bring out the one and only Creator!
That's probably bad for me. Yep.
Why do you feel like it's bad for you, buddy? Actually,
he's
I'm
a big
deciding if I
boy.
want this in attack mode, actually. Do I want this in attack or do I want this in defense? I think this is a big-ass problem for you to deal with, in all honesty. So I think I'm...
He is a big ass problem. That's
Literally.
true. That's
with
exactly
3,000
the issue
defense,
here.
he's quite literally a big ass problem. I'm actually going to special this in defense. I actually like keeping him on the field.
Cool.
Okay. Then I'm going to activate the effect of the Creator with
Have a
priority.
monster. Yep.
I'm going to pitch. I could pitch either one of these actually, and that's actually kind of cool. I'm going to pitch Rock from the Valley of Haze, which, funny enough, will actually get its
nuts.
effect here. I think.
Oh boy.
We're going to bring back the full power of Fusilier Dragon.
Oh, that's not.
We're going to use the effect of Rock here since it was sent from my hand to the graveyard, and I'm going to shuffle it back into the deck, so you're not going
Sure
to be milling
thing.
me out. I
Yep.
don't know if that's even relevant or not, but we'll see. I will attempt to go to battle, and I will run into your covering fire by hitting into... which one are we feeling like getting rid of? Let's go ahead and get rid of your Homunculus.
Okay, and I take 1,000, and there he goes.
All right, 1,000 damage down. I think that was a productive turn. I'll pass. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to draw for turn. Oh, that's a little bit hilarious, but also still kind of unhelpful. What do I want to do with this situation? That's a big boy. He is
He's big.
pretty beefy.
And if you don't get rid of him, it's just going to get worse.
That's true.
It also puts you in this terrible situation because, like, even if you have removal, if you get rid of Creator, I still have a 2,800 Fusilier.
Yeah, that is definitely a problem. What am I going to do about this situation?
I can't believe I got to summon this. This is so great.
I'm very excited that you got to summon it, but like, oh boy, this is bad.
This is exactly why I'm playing Fusilier, too. If it wasn't for Creator, I would not have even looked at this card. But the fact that I can just get a 2,800 to the field is way too enticing.
Yeah, definitely. You have just about the best use of Fusilier we're going to have access to.
Question is, what are you going to do about it?
It's a very important question, Alex. What are the situations ahead of me?
Losing is one that looks pretty likely.
Certainly a possibility. I'm not going to discount that. I absolutely have to do this, don't I? Yeah, I don't really have a lot of choice. I'm going to activate back to square one.
I figured this was coming. All right, so pitch for cost. And what are you going to bounce?
Pitch for cost, and I am going to send the Creator back to the top of your deck.
Sure, that's fine.
Okay. And then
So
I
one
am
problem
going
down.
to- Yes. Oh, one problem down. I thought you said one problem, though. And I was like, what the hell do you possibly have at this point?
no.
Okay. I am going to change element source to defense and set a monster. And it is your go.
All right, I'll go ahead and draw. Could be anything. Could be anything.
Could be.
I'll go to main phase one. So, thing I have to worry about at this point is something like a Nightmare Penguin.
Nightmare Penguin would be a problem.
I don't think there's a lot of other sets that are very punishing in this set, at least that I can recall.
But are you
and
sure
maybe
you
I'm
don't
wrong.
want to just like you sure the running into Dekoichi that's you sure you're not afraid of that? Huh?
I mean, it gets you a
Yeah.
card, which is kind of scary. I'm not gonna lie.
Cards are scary.
So let's go ahead and I'm gonna take this a little bit slow here. I'm gonna run out a pitch black werewolf.
Cool.
Let's go to battle phase.
Okay.
I will hit werewolf into the Elemensaurus.
Okay. And there will go the Elemensaurus.
And Fusilier into the set.
It is an Elemensaurus.
Oh, perfect. Fantastic. Second main, I will just pass the turn. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to draw for turn.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, nothing's going wrong at all, Alex. Main phase 1.
I'm having fun, personally.
I'm sure you are. I'm going to normal summon Homunculus, the alchemic being, and I am going to attack into Pitch Black Werewolf.
Would you like to change his attribute before you attack?
Not going to choose to change. Actually, in the main phase 2, in case for some ungodly reason I draw into a reason why this would make a difference, I am going to change Homunculus to be a water monster.
Oh, perfect. Fantastic.
Just so you can't Divine Wrath him when I get my Nightmare Penguin.
Excellent. I will go ahead and draw. We'll go to main phase 1.
Yep.
And, okay. I mean, that's funny. Buddy, just when you thought your problems were gone, guess what I've got in my hand?
Oh, for fuck's sake. Yep, there you go.
I will tribute a second incarnate to bring back the creator.
Oh, boy. All right.
And I will pitch the Sasuke Samurai 4 in hand to bring back Pitch Black Werewolf.
This is, as they say, not good for me.
I will go to battle. Fusilier will hit into Homunculus.
I will take 1,000.
And you'll take 16 and 23 while you're at it. Oh my god. This was the dream.
You are, this is exactly what the creator was created for.
Absolutely. The fact that, I mean, when you back to square one and I had the second incarnate in hand, I was squealing. I was like, this is
I'm
so
sure
funny.
there was, and it is all you, Boo.
Oh my god. Good games, buddy.
Good
I mean,
games.
I don't know how you beat this. Like, this is,
Yeah,
creator
was-
is probably like unbeatable unless you specifically have like all removal in hand.
So-
it's so tough.
I do actually have a pretty good out available to me, and you didn't
Okay.
get to really see my deck at work, mostly because
did
I
not.
just threw game 1. Would you like to go to a game 3?
We can. I'm down. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Robert, just when the editor thought he was off the hook, nope, we're going to a game 3. I will pick scissors, so if you want to pick rock and just win and
Okay,
go first,
yeah,
so we
let's
can
see.
maybe see what your deck's
I mean,
got
going
on.
first has not done me much good so far, but
True.
we'll see.
Maybe going second's the wave. I don't know.
Okay.
Let's see what you got, buddy. Go
All
ahead.
right, let's start off here. What's hilarious is I actually got fairly good hands, both the first 2 games.
But just like creator is just
Yeah.
a house.
I am going to, now here's going to be a blast from the game 1. I'm going to summon Foxfire, and I am going to set 3 back row, and it is your go.
I still want to know the theory behind this, so I will go to main 1, and let's go ahead and run out, I'll run out a Fusilier. Why not?
Okay.
I will put a token here to denote that he is 1400 attack,
Sounds good.
and we'll hit in.
And I will take 1100.
Yeah, you will. I will go to second main. I will set 1 card, and I will throw it over to you.
Okay.
Get your Foxfire back.
I will get my Foxfire back. Thank you very much. He's my emotional support fox at this point.
At this point, after you just got shafted and 2-0'd, yeah, probably.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, I'm going to go to main phase 1, and I'm going to normal summon myself an Elemensaurus.
Okay, I think this is your primary synergy here, which I get, so that's cute. Sure, that's fine.
I'm going to go to battle phase, and I'm going to attack into Fusilia.
So it's 2,000 to my 14, so I will take 600. Yep, it's fine.
And I will end my turn there.
We will draw. Not a bad one. All right, let's play this game again. I'm going to run out a Sasuke Samurai number 4.
Yep. Yep.
We'll hit the Fox.
Okay. God, I hate things like this. Oh my god. Okay. I think the move is to... I hate this kind of thing. So if he gets his effect, I lose Foxfire. Elemensaurus goes down to 1500 again, which is, not the end of the world. If
How lucky you feeling, buddy?
I win, I keep a Foxfire. If I do anything else, My moves are going to be the same whether or not this works out, so I'm going to take it.
Okay, so we'll see if it's coming back or not. Heads, please.
Oh,
Damn.
Thank goodness.
Of course,
And
when it
there goes
doesn't
the ball.
matter.
Okay. Yep.
Second main, I think I'm pretty content, so I will just throw it over to you.
Okay, and here comes the boy. And I'm going to draw for turn. Okay, that's an interesting idea. I am going to set a monster, and I am going to go into... Why would I do that before the battle phase? Just a second. I am going to not set a monster, and I'm going to go into the battle phase, and I'm going to attack with the Sasuke Samurai, and I'm going to take that 50-50.
Okay, we'll see if it pays off for you. Heads, please.
Oh,
Damn.
thank goodness. Get rid of it. Get it out of here.
Get rid of it. I'll take 800. I guess this should have been the game that you were really looking for.
Yeah, really. I'm going to set a monster, and I am going to set a back row, and it is your go.
4 back row. Good lord. Okay. I will proceed to the main phase 1. Set cards could be Nightmare Penguin, could be Dekoichi. Those are like the 2 important ones, I feel like. I will just go ahead and set a card and throw it over to you.
Okay, draw for turn. Okay, interesting. Let's see. Okay, that introduces a fun mini game. I am going to put on the pressure, I guess. I am going to flip summon Nightmare Penguin and bounce your face down monster back to your hand. Sure. And Alex, now you're finally going to get to see what makes my deck my deck. I am going to tribute my Nightmare Penguin for a BES Big Core.
Wow, Big Core. This card's not bad. This card's not bad.
And I am going to go into the battle phase, and I'm going to attack in with Element Saurus.
Take the 2000.
I'm going to attack in with BES.
Take 23.
And I am going to... Yeah, in the damage step, I am going to equip my BES Big Core with Rare Metal Morph.
And there it is. That card's pretty good, so I'll take another 5.
Yep, and now you can't take another hit from either one of my monsters. It's your go.
That is true. I will go to main 1. You also get the 3 counters on BES.
Oh, yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. I'll just write 3 in the chat.
Sure, that's fine. I have a way to deal with this. Is it very good? I don't think so. But it's very funny because it involves Sasuke Samurai number 4.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, yep, here we go.
How lucky you feeling, buddy?
We'll see.
We'll see. I mean, I gotta go for it. I need to take off some of the pressure here. So I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna try to slam into the big core.
Okay.
You could Astral Barrier. I mean,
I could, and that makes it a little bit less of a 50-50 for me, I think, because I'll be able to basically attack with something that isn't big core first.
True.
Yeah, I am going to Astral Barrier here.
Okay, so you'll take 1200 to the face.
Yep.
Second main for me. God, I think I've got to make a decision here. It's not ideal. Yeah, I'll just throw it over. Go ahead.
I will draw for turn. Oh, okay, and then I will win the game.
Back to square 1?
I'm going to activate back to square 1.
Off the top. God damn it. I have my own copy of this, and I was thinking, do I just blank his draw? Like, I feel like he's just been sitting on whatever was in his hand for a while, and you draw the 1 card that automatically wins you the game.
Yep.
So, yep. All right.
It worked out.
So that's cool, though. I mean, you got the big core. I was also playing Rare Metal Morph because I could just put this on a Fusilier or a Dekoichi, actually, for that matter, which is what this was. And it makes it 19, which hits over Homunculus. So I figure that's pretty good. And then, again, it just makes it invulnerable to, like, back to square 1, which isn't terrible. So
yeah.
I thought it was an okay strategy. But the rest of my hand, I just didn't want to play into Xingzhenhu if you had it. But I had a Divine Wrath, which is cool, but none of your stuff has any effect, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
And this is where I hate covering fire. Like, it's so hard to set up when you're behind that it's just a card that I just despise for that reason. The last card was Homunculus, and, you know, for all the fucking good that'll do me when you have Element Saurus out at 2K.
Indeed. Yeah, before I get to the fun things about my deck, you want to know what makes that move in the first game even worse? I had a covering fire face down.
Oh, fantastic.
I was staring right at it, and I was like, nah, that card doesn't have an effect on it. So with that out of the way.
You did have it. To be fair, that could have actually made me play into your covering fire, which I did several times in the second game. So
with that out of the way, you wanted to know about my theory around Foxfire. I have 3 Element Source in this deck because I figure Element Source plus either Foxfire or Homunculus is just a really, really good board. And Foxfire is basically blanks attacks for a while and also is kind of like an incubation chamber for Flint while I'm not using it, which you saw in game 1.
Incubation chamber, that's good. Yeah, wrong.
And so that was the main theory. If I got 2 of it on the field, I could sack it for Gaia Soul, the Combustible Collective.
I thought this was the main reason you were playing this. When I saw Pyro, I'm like, oh, Gaia Soul, that's pretty cute.
Yeah, so I had 2 of that in deck. Alex, I also had Divine Wrath, but I also had a second Divine Wrath.
Oh, I had 2 Divine Wrath as well.
Which is not even the craziest thing about my deck, because the reason I was running such a heavy machine focus is because I got not 1, not 2, but 3 big
Holy shit! That's so good with Rare Metal Morph, though, because
it's very
that
good.
It makes it almost stronger than any other thing you can summon in this format, which is nuts. So, how many Rare Metal Morphs did you have?
I got 3, and I also had 3 Flint.
Wow. I only had 2 Rare Metal Morph. I had 0 Flint, by the way.
And so my game plan, I was hoping to draw into Divine Wrath game 1, because if I had Divine Wrath and Rare Metal Morph on the field with BES Big Core, that card is basically indestructible.
Right.
The game becomes basically unwinnable for you. But I happen to forget
Except
that
Sasuke
some cards
Samurai
have
number
text.
4. No, actually, Divine Wrath checks that.
Yep,
Never
that's
mind.
why Sasuke Samurai number 4, of which I got 1. I don't know how many you got. And
I got 3.
Nightmare Penguin. You got.
That's true.
We're both, yeah. So we get to play what ifs here, because if I had been a halfway decent Yu-Gi-Oh player in game 1, then we might have seen some crazy stuff out of this deck. But I'm glad that I got to at least show off the combo between both Foxfire and Element Source and BES Big Core and Rare Metal Morph in game number 3.
I think I just discounted Foxfire because of the fact you can't use it for a tribute summon, but like you don't really have to because its presence on the board is just fine. But I feel like there's so many ways to just deal with it that I didn't really give it the attention. So it's neat that we were actually on some different strategies based off of our polls. So did you get the creator is the question.
No.
Oh, okay. So you were just playing for the beater.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think I got a single ultra rare. I think I got like 4 ultimate rares though.
That's sick. That's pretty cool. So
it's pretty cool.
I mean, you saw the highlight of my deck. So my plan was to get big shit in the graveyard and then just on ignition, Creator, bring back Fusilier, or bring back Rock from the Valley of Haze, which that was my tribute monster of choice, just because it beats over pretty much, it trades with Thestalos. It can technically hit over Big Core, but I need to kill it 4 times for that to happen. But, it works. I didn't pull any Big Cores. I probably would have played it if I did. And then I was even playing Perfect Machine King as another bomb to just bring off of the Creator, because this thing is, again, it's similar to your theory with like the Rare Metal Morph Big Core. I was also playing Rare Metal Morph, so I could get this thing to 3,200, and if I just put another machine out, this thing is just going to be basically unkillable as well, at least in the battlefront, right? Yep. I actually could have summoned this game 1. It was the last card that I drew, and I had 4 monsters on the field, but I didn't want to. Basically, the whole purpose of this is to pitch it for back to square 1 or Divine Wrath, just because I want it in the grave for Creator, which, again, I only have 1 of, so I don't know if it's exactly the correct thing to do. I think I sided it out game 2, but other than that, I don't think I pulled like anything too crazy. I also had 2 Gaia Souls. I actually liked Gaia Soul because it hits into Nightmare Penguin very favorably because it pierces it and then you get the Gaia Soul back if it's the only monster you have, which is funny. So then you can use it again. So it doesn't actually die in the end phase. So I thought that was pretty cool. Other than that, I think the only other card, I got a Monster Reincarnation. So if you killed Creator, I could have brought it back.
I got 2 of those, but it's not as good in my deck as it is in yours.
I don't know. Bringing back Big Core to your hand seems pretty good to me.
Well, I've got 3 of them in the deck, so it doesn't really seem worth the minus for it.
That's true.
So the combo I really wanted to, before I saw that Foxfire couldn't be attributed for a tribute summon, I had the feeling that you were going to be playing 3 of it, and I really wanted to go Gaia Soul Ballista of Rampart Smashing so that I could get a 3,500 attack point Gaia Soul and just immediately win the game.
I wasn't on Ballista because Ballista only works in set monsters, and this is actually maybe one of the first sets we've had where the highest defense monster was 1,800, and that's just so strange that it wasn't really hard to deal with, you know?
Yeah.
And Nightmare Penguin's like maybe one of the best commons in the whole set. And
definitely.
even with that, we kind of just laugh at it, right? Because we have Astral Barrier, which funny enough, I didn't see the entire game, but Astral Barrier is insane. It protects all your stuff, and then you get to bring out bigger stuff. And I think it's fun that we have a card like this in Sealed Showdown because it allows us to play bigger, right?
Yeah.
Where sometimes that just doesn't happen. But
True.
this was fun. This was a good episode.
It was
I'm
a
happy
lot
you
of
got to
fun.
show off your deck in this third game here with the big core. I can't believe you pulled 3 of that. That's
3
insane.
big cores.
That's so good though for Sealed Showdown.
It's
Big
pretty
core is
good.
a menace.
It's pretty good. Yeah, I was pretty excited about this deck, and hopefully the road to me learning to be a decent Yu-Gi-Oh player will continue moving ever forward in the next episode.
I mean, we're all about progress, buddy, and we will be progressing into, I believe it's
Flaming
Flaming Eternity,
Eternity.
or it's Dark Revelation 1. I think it's Flaming Eternity.
I think
though.
it's Flaming Eternity and then Dark Revelation 1.
Right. And Flaming Eternity is going to be another fun set. We've got some good removal in there. There's a lot of cool stuff. I think it's going to be very similar to this set. We'll have to see, though, but I definitely think there's a lot of similarities. So, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Sealed Showdown. We have to shout the patrons. As always, so big shouts to Shout1317, Moto, Cameron Smith, Chaotic Meatball, and Gayoka, Tim00x3, Ika Ironfang, Part 2, Pony Starkey, and Musa, Michael Dente, Dan the Man Hoban, Synchro Guy, Ole, Mystic Walk, Sylvia Wild, Strayconic, Rockslide, Dollywop, Logan Thomas, Peter Gregory, Cole T, Thomas Nelson, Yusuf Asin 05, Jordan Coons, Calvin, Iron Bladesman, Pure Ace, Jesse Wood, True Nerdgasm, Brother Paul, Chris Hood, Lumpy, Nehru Celeste, David Lee, Rockley 325, Blaine Rogers, Chat God, Soud Age at 216, I Side in Grand Maju and Salad, Sky Rose, Dylan Hunter, Brett Harvey, John 2 Base, Apathy Astro, Brody Eastwood, Day Zero, Carlos DT, Flannel Daddy, Give Me Speedroid or Give Me Death, Matthew Elliott, MBT's Hardleg, Ashlyn Jensen, Cypher Peon Perp 6, TC Gaming, Matthew Brady, Edison Format, Ash Blossom Toe Sniffer, Dr. Solace Max, and Tom Russell. Thank you so much for watching the video, and we will see you next time.